What's up? This is Ryan.
Hey, and this is Michael. Welcome to another episode of All Day Unpacked. This is the playoff edition, wild card weekend, and
Yep.
we're already 2 games deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, we saw the Steelers play the Ravens. I said the Steelers were definitely going to win. That didn't happen.
Yeah,
And
that
then
definitely
we
didn't
watched the
happen.
Texans beat the Chargers, which pissed me off royally because I'm a Jaguars fan. So it's been a shitty wild card weekend for me so far. What'd you think
Yeah,
of the games?
I liked the again the Chargers. they're- It's like the Chargers are that team you want to see them do well, and they just
Yeah.
never do. And it's like
Yeah.
God, it's just it. They got to be brutal to be a fan of them just because they get there, they do well in the regular season, and then they fall. I mean,
Yeah.
Justin Herbert threw as many interceptions or no, he threw what more? I don't know. He had like 3 interceptions or 4 interceptions all
Four.
season. No, three all
Oh,
season.
three all season and four in the
And
game,
then he throws 4 in a game. And I know they weren't all
I
his
think.
fault. And I know like there's
Right.
issues and stuff, but man, it is just like they're just snake bit when it comes to the playoffs. And it's a little bit tough
Yeah.
I'm sure it's tough to stomach as a Chargers fan. Luckily,
Yeah.
not
And
one,
and I caught
but
a I didn't catch a ton of the game, but I did catch the beginning. And it's like they drove down the field. They had like they were on the goal line. They ran like right up the middle. They got
yep.
stuffed, and it was
Yep.
fourth down. Then they had a kick, and
Yep.
then they got a turnover. They couldn't. All they could turn it into 3 points. It's just like. And then
Yeah.
I saw the Texans at some point, go down and score right before half. On they dropped a snap. The guy throws it like Stroud throws it like 40 yards to some guy
Mm,
who's wide open. It's just you could tell that it's
yeah.
just
Wasn't their day, but
no, and it's like when
it's
you get opportunities like that, you got to punch them in, and if you don't in the
yeah.
playoffs, you're sunk. So
Yeah, and it's the other thing too is it was just like there were like it felt like the Texans were just sacking Herbert left and right at will. I mean, they got pressure
yeah,
on him all game, and the
yeah,
Chargers O line was supposed to be like kind of this force of nature, and you know maybe in the run game, but
yeah,
it was really apparent that once you stopped the Chargers run game, that they couldn't just rely on the pass. I mean, Quentin Johnson was back to dropping passes again. They,
yeah.
they were just
He's hurt though. Like he played like I kept seeing all these reports that he wasn't even going to play.
oh really?
Um, yeah, so I think he went out there and tried to tough it out, but they just
Yeah,
don't have a lot of depth at the receiver position. They've got,
right.
they got a rookie they put a lot of pressure on. Who do they got? I mean, like who's like the
No,
household name?
I
They
mean
don't
the
have
rookie
one.
is the stud. Lat McConkey had an 84-yard touchdown that was amazing. He came up
Absolutely.
clutch a bunch of times, so he was
Right.
awesome. But yeah,
Yeah.
ultimately not enough. And then the Ravens were just the Ravens and just way too much for the Steelers. I don't know. I know we talked about this before offline, and I said you were crazy for thinking the Steelers would win, and it went pretty much. I mean, I will say that the Steelers I thought were
Steelers made
going
a
to be.
run.
Yeah, they did better than I would have given them credit. I thought they didn't even belong in the playoffs. I thought they were a joke. So,
Yeah.
um, but honestly, the only thing they were able to do is put up a couple of touchdowns on some like again, they put together a couple of decent passing drives against the Steelers corners. Like there was a really nice
Ravens
touchdown throw
corners.
to Pickens. Did I say? I'm sorry. Yeah, the Ravens
Yeah.
corners.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
they took advantage of the rookie with George Pickens on a couple nice throws. The touchdown throw was I don't know if you saw that one where he kind of reached out to the sideline, caught it, and then the two defenders just
Pickens.
collided as he
Yeah.
slipped through. That was nice.
I did
So
catch that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I was out to dinner and kind of caught that on the TV. I mean, I didn't see it in full, but caught
yep.
enough of it to yeah.
Yeah, so then
So,
we got 3 games tomorrow and then one game
yeah.
Monday night. And so, speaking of the Monday night game, I got to give a
Yep.
huge shout out to J Talk 7 who we he's a Cowboys fan slash kind of a Rams fan, lives in LA. Due to the fires, they moved the game from LA to where we're at, which is Arizona.
Yep.
And you and I talked about taking, going to see this game just because, just a playoff game in Arizona, and it wasn't, wasn't planned, and so um, we were looking for a way to take advantage. And obviously, they did the tickets in a way where Rams season ticket holders got first dibs on the tickets, and
Yes.
he wasn't going to make the game, so he no didn't ask for any compensation whatsoever, just out of the kindness of his heart let us use his reservation, and we were able to get tickets to the game on Monday night and got decent tickets. We're sitting,
Yeah.
like I think it's like what 10 15 yard line. Um,
Viking
so
sideline.
yeah, Vikings sideline. Not that it really matters since we're not really, I mean, we're just
No.
kind of there for a good game. I think, probably root on the home team. I don't know. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, but man, big shout out to him. And I
Yeah,
will
that
say
was
this,
really
like,
cool.
yeah, that's just like, I mean, as much as like we talk about the moments and like like kind of what they're worth and this and
Sure.
that, one of the things that we do forget sometimes is like there's a really cool community and there's some really
Yep.
awesome people that are
Right.
out there. I've made a lot of, connections through, just talking on the Discord or Twitter or,
Yep.
just, or even through just kind of what we do here on this YouTube channel. And man, I just want to say like, it reminds you of like how much like we were nice we kind of did our favor of giving away those Bears tickets and kind of paid it forward
Yeah.
and we had something kind of come back to us and so
Yeah.
just wanted to say that we really appreciate everybody out there even if you're not giving things away or helping people out just being like
Sure.
cool and being a part of the community or whatever it does make this a
Hmm.
lot more fun and makes this something we enjoy doing
Right.
especially so yeah.
Right, right. No, it's just a cool community. It's just kind of like it's one of those things where, again, somebody you don't even know that well is willing to just kind of say, "Yeah, here you go." And it's again the same thing. It's like when we had, the Bears tickets.
Yep.
You did the giveaway, and then you got the second set, and we did that.
Yeah.
It's just, that's just how it should be.
Yeah,
And yeah,
absolutely.
it's just cool. And again, it's like, I mean, I got to say for myself, selfishly, I did take the Jags tickets. I did go to the game. That was a couple weeks ago, and now I'm going to turn around and go to another game. I don't usually go to this many games, and it's kind of cool this season to actually attend this many games because I went to the Texans games or Texans Dolphins, now
Right.
the Jaguars Titans, and turn around and go to the Rams and the Vikings,
Vikings.
and it's a playoff game.
Yep.
And I've never been to a playoff game in my life, so this is kind of a cool experience. So big shout out to what's his
J
name
Talk.
again?
It was J Talk.
J
So
Talk.
I don't know. I want to give away real names or whatever and stuff too, because I don't know what
Sure.
people want to do as far as privacy and such. So we'll
Yep.
leave it at
Yep.
that's his screen name. And appreciate what he did for us. And again, like you
Very
said, the
much
kids
so.
are going to get to go to see a play. I mean, like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like when kids are getting to go
Yeah.
to the
My
playoff
my
games
my
and
kids
stuff.
are gonna get to
Yeah,
see a playoff game. They're totally pumped. They're over the moon. So hey,
yeah.
appreciate it. Yep.
Yep, and we even were able to secure a parking pass and the whole nine. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. It's going to be should be a fun time. It should be a good game. I think that'll be a really good game.
Yeah.
So
Right. And I will say that it's kind of a unique event because again, it's like when a playoff game gets moved to another location, they took the prices and they dropped them dramatically.
yes,
I
they
mean, it
did.
was not like maybe the aftermarket tickets, but I mean, they were kind of like they're trying to move these things. And a lot of people I know in a lot of circles, like a lot of people are like, holy shit, these tickets were cheap. They were Cardinals season ticket holders. They
Yep.
got in on the mix.
Yep.
So a lot of people I know like got in on this. So
Yeah,
it's it's
I
a
think the
thing, and
most
it's
expensive, the club seating, which is where you've got kind of the indoor, like the fancy seating up above, and then also have a seat below.
right.
Those tickets were I think like $200, and that was probably the most expensive ticket that you could buy
Right.
just to
Right.
get like seating just at even at the 50-yard line in the lower deck or whatever. Those tickets were about 150. So
Yeah.
you couldn't, I mean, it was again extremely affordable and obviously they had to make it attractive for people who maybe aren't fans to go and such.
Right. And
So
it's last second. So it
yeah,
was.
yep. So but yeah, I mean, but we were fortunate enough to have a clear calendar on Monday and I think it's gonna be awesome. So we'll
Right.
definitely send some, we'll be posting some, I don't know,
Hmm.
pictures, videos, something from the game, and hoping
Yep.
for a good one. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
cool.
Definitely. So yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So moving on, we got banner years out. Where you kind of something that I know that you personally have wished for a lot to a
Yeah.
degree came true, which is that you've always talked about like I wish we could use team moments to do pick'ems, and lo and behold, you can use these banner moments just from 2024, but you can use those banner moments to pick the first round games and get some pretty shitty packs. But I'm assuming that as you move through as we move through the weeks, that the packs will get, better as you pick the winners. But
Right.
you can pick the winners right now and get a rewind pack if you get it right.
Right. And my thoughts
So,
on that is I hate to be this kind of guy, but I'm kind of pissed about it. And I want to say why. And I understand that they're just 2024 moments. And
mhm,
I get the logic of that, but these aren't like great packs that they're giving away. They're like decent packs. They're not
yeah,
like, high end things. I don't understand why, like for playbook, if you have a Derrick Henry that's on the Titans, you can use that. If you have a Derrick Henry that's, a newer, he's on the Ravens, he's on the Titans, you can
Yep.
use that. But for some reason, like for this event, if I have a Texans moment from last year, I can't use that. It's got to be 2024.
Mhm.
This is like this is where like this is easy stuff. Like give away a few more
Yeah.
packs and let people use their older moments. It's just you're excluding people. This is a good chance for people like, oh yeah, this is why I've got these fucking banner moments. This is why I've collected these things, and that's why I've hung
Right.
on to them. Because every once in a while they pay off. It's just there's too much in the all day community of just like you got to have the new stuff, the new stuff. It's again, I don't give a shit what series it's from. It's just like there's got to be some utility for that stuff from time to time. It
Yeah.
just this is another just layup, and it's like a missed dunk. It's just
Yeah.
why?
I don't, yeah, and I don't know if they just didn't have enough rewards to accommodate that many entries or something or
Yeah.
whatever. But let's just say this. I hope this is kind of like a testing, like kind of a testing round, and then
Hmm.
next year they're gonna open it up and say, they're gonna do pick'ems every week and let you use any team moment, right? And so
Right.
hopefully this is just a, kind of a stepping stone to get to a better kind of result in the end. They've never done this before, or at least not, where they've done all the games, and so
Sure.
again, maybe they're keeping it small purposefully. I don't know. I'm gonna hope they are, and if not, then I hope they learn from it, and then next year put this into practice and like like maybe not even do every game, but like pick 6 or 7 games a week and
Yeah.
let people play for like again we got
Give
a
us a
ton
team
of
pack.
yeah we got a shit ton of Series 1 packs that are just sitting out there collecting dust, and every year that they don't give those things away, they become less desirable because most of those players are not in the NFL, they're not relevant, they're not of interest. So let's get the stuff out there. Now, I know some people are going to complain that like, again, it's we've already got a glut of, you look at the moments and they're already like $1, less than $1 on floaty and things like that. And so adding more supply is not a great thing. But hell, add it and then burn it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
just get it out there, get it out of the reserves because it's just sitting there right
Yes.
now. So either take those old packs and just flush them right now and just call it quits on it, or start coming up with some mechanisms to get them out there faster and get people to burn them or something, because it's just we got to get that, like it's just hanging over us, and so
Yeah.
we got to get some ways to get rid of it. I mean,
Yeah.
but I agree with you. It's yeah, I mean, I do wish they would have come up with a way to incorporate some of the older moments. I mean, it was nice
I mean,
to they
not all the teams are even in there. I mean, like the 49ers aren't in there. I mean,
yeah,
there's the Cowboys weren't in there. So it's not like you can use all of these team moments or the banner.
right.
Just make it just the banner moments. Again, they didn't do every game if I remember right. It was
No, they
only
did.
two. Did they do every game?
Yeah, they did. They put two out
Okay, I
right
thought I saw
away.
two.
No, they put two out right away, and then they came back and added
Okay.
the rest. So
I think
now
maybe
that
I
I
got
said that, of course, I
frustrated
got
and
to
just
double check. But one, two,
okay.
three,
I thought I saw
four.
two. I kind of got
Nope, all
frustrated when I
six
thought it
games
was
because there was two tonight,
okay.
and then there's the other four right here. So
Sure.
yeah, so 6 games, all six. I don't even know. So let's see. What did I even pick? Steeler. I had the Ravens one and I got the Texans one. Okay, so hey
Right.
man, I'm 2 for 2 right now. So watch out. I'm gonna be coming into some rewind 1 packs, baby. And those
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Unfortunately, I bought the 2023 edition, so I can't participate. I didn't
Yeah.
buy the 2024s. So it's come on, motherfuckers. Come on. This is just like petty shit. Like, I mean, it just this stuff drives me nuts.
Yeah.
It does because there's only a couple hundred of these. Are they that desperate to sell these things? Like where they like,
Yes.
they like I mean that's the part that like,
I mean,
you know,
but here's the thing. Like I'll stop and say this. They're counting on sales of things right now to probably to cover. I mean, they're giving away, 30 grand of every week they
they're
give
not
away
giving a
30.
30 way cash. They're giving away 30 they're giving 30 grand of credit.
Yeah, but that credit is used to buy new
That's as
like
good as cash. Those are
it's
IOUs.
they're like new packs. You can buy new packs with them, new moments, the new drops. And here's the thing. is it as good as cash? No, but if you really wanted to, if you win 5 grand, you could buy a moment for 5 grand, sell it for 4 grand, and take that out of the ecosystem. So it's
Technically, yeah.
yeah. So again, it isn't great, but you can get value out of there. So, but I hear what you're saying. Like I'm not again when it comes to giving away the old season one supply. I think they should be just letting anybody do it from any team moment. But um, anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah. The one positive I will say about banner moments though is that they did put the videos on it this time.
Hmm.
Last year it was like the black hole. You got like a picture of your team in a black hole for like months, and
Oh, I
people were
know.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was like it was damn near Christmas before they put those things up. No, I'm kidding. But it took them a while to get the videos up. So now they've got some video they're going to add to it. So much credit for getting that right. So
Yeah.
they definitely got that part right. And I still love the banner moments. And at some point I might pick them up, but
Well, and like we talked about before too, it'd be nice to see if they could I'd love to see them integrate, part of the team's stadium hype video at the beginning of the banner moment. I think that'd be a great idea. I don't know if
right,
that's, cost issues or whatever, but that would be
sure.
really cool.
They did look like, I mean, just from what I saw, like the way that they kind of let off, like they did have some decent stuff at the beginning. It was
Yeah.
like, I noticed like the Commanders was the one I happened to click on, and they had like the marching band drumming and then people coming out, like so it
Yeah.
had that feel, but it didn't have like all the bells and whistles like the stadium thing does.
Yeah, and it may just be part of that too. I mean, I don't know
Sure.
because we haven't seen all of their hype videos for the year, so I'm sure they're
Yep.
pulling it from somewhere. I mean, they've got a license, so who knows what their license is to pull from, but anyway.
Yeah. And I've got this Texan one from the stadium. Maybe I'll post it on Twitter just to kind of show people what
Show
it looked like.
people. Yeah. No, I think that'd be a good idea just to compare because actually, well, I mean, that'd be a good thing. Let's look at a Texans 24 moment and see how that compares to it, and then you could really
Yeah.
decide from that. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So just to stay in the playoff vein, playbook. There's a playbook this week. Didn't really change a lot, like we had talked about. It was a quarterback that threw for a pass over X yards, running back that runs it for this many yards, um, a receiver that has a catch for this many yards. But they did bring defense back, and you
Yeah.
had to have a defender who had 5 tackles, and that I would say kind of threw a wrench in things, like because there's
Yeah.
not a ton of guys that have. I mean, as you work down the rungs there are, but especially at the highest level, right? I went through and I looked, and there's Patrick Queen, there was Minka Fitzpatrick, there was.
Levante David.
Does he have a legendary?
Oh, okay. Legendary. No, I sorry, I
Okay.
was going medium on you.
No, and then it goes down. There was a couple of rookies, that Peyton Wilson from the Steelers, who actually
41. Yeah.
he
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
hit tonight and actually had the number, so
Right.
he was a good play.
Roquan
But
Smith. I don't know if you mentioned him.
Roquan doesn't have a legendary.
Oh, he doesn't have a legendary. God,
No.
that's right.
So um, anyway, so not a ton of plays. And a
Right.
lot of the
Yeah.
plays were in tonight's games. So it's interesting. I took a peek before we started, and one person's already hit in legendary hard because of they had Justin Herbert with Latin McConkey, and that 84-yard hookup right there was
Yeah. Yes.
yeah, that was the golden ticket on that one. So
Oh yeah. Yep.
yeah. And then they had, I think it was
Does
Mixon and Queen, or Mixon and somebody. Maybe it was Wilson,
does
but
Derwin James have one?
nope.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I
Well,
mean
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
It is kind of crazy to think that, out of all these legendaries they have, when they did all these dynamic moments that, some of these major names, you think like Roquan Smith, you think like, what's his name? Derwin James. Some of those would have
Yeah.
gotten him. But
You would
whatever.
think, but it didn't happen that way. So
Yeah. I guess
yeah,
Derwin James was hurt last year too, I think. So
he was.
that could
Plus,
have
there's
been
not a
cool.
lot of footage of him without him leading with the crown of his helmet and the other guys like sternum. So no, I kid. But yeah. Anyway, point being that there's not because there's not a lot of demand for it, right? So
Mhm.
like I'll give you an example. Like there's the new Holo drop that just happened or whatever, and there's a bunch of legendaries, and one of them is Christian Gonzalez, and by far and away he is the cheapest of, like, he's sub 200 already, and so
Right.
it's like no one wants the defensive player because I mean if he was in the playoffs it'd be a different story, but no one
Sure.
cares. No one wants a defensive player because no one thinks it matters, and so again, it's one of those things too where I think, we've talked about like the new playbook versus the old playbook, and I feel like on defense it's hard to do anything but tackles and like have a guy picked. But
Well,
man, if they ever
sacks.
brought back the well, no. So what I was gonna say is if they ever brought back the post thing where it's like, play a like submit a legendary that had an interception this week, then guys like a Christian, like because it's hard to do that. It's hard to like make that a thing because a guy getting an interception is like it's rare, right? You only get guys, guys that only average
Right.
what, eight, like the top guys get like 8 to 10 a year.
Hmm.
And so it's not like you're going to get a guy who's like a lock for one on a certain week. So if they ever
Right.
brought back that ability to like play something post games
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever, I think
Yeah,
that would
I
be a
like
great,
that.
thing. But because they don't do that, a guy like Christian Gonzalez, who has a legendary from last year when it was his rookie year, why even give this guy a second legendary? To your point, why not Derwin James this year? Why not anybody who is more, like why not someone new? So
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. Anyway,
I mean, yeah, yeah.
it
I
is
mean,
what
I'm
it
sure
is.
there's reasons, but yeah.
Yeah. And then so we're kind of delving into the Holo Icon drop a little bit, but real quick, we kind of called this. It did go down like there's a Sam Darnold, there's a Jared Goff. The Sam Darnold is part of the drop. The Jared Goff is a locking reward, as is C.J. Stroud, as is a Puka Nakua. So they took two of the top rookies from last year, Puka and C.J. Stroud, and they kind of made it so now if you want another, if you want their legendaries from this year, if
Sure.
you missed out last year, you have an opportunity, but you got to get everybody else to lock for them. So and same thing
That
with
makes
Jared
sense.
Goff, and who's a very
Yeah.
desirable guy to have right now, especially in playbook,
Oh,
just
absolutely.
because he tears it up. So it's interesting that they've gone that route, and I mean, again, it made the most sense. It was a pretty easy call on our part, but nonetheless, it did come
Yes.
to fruition there. So
When does that golf actually drop?
12 days, 10 days. Uh, let's see here.
So is it playable for the next weekend?
Uh-uh. It'll be playable in 2 weekends.
Hmm. Wouldn't that be funny if the Lions got bounced?
Yeah, so it's well. Let's see. Hold on. It's the Jared Goff. Let's see. That challenge ends in 9 days and 13 hours, which is yeah. That'll be
Yeah, I mean,
right
yeah,
after next weekend. So next
yeah,
Monday.
that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I know. I felt like that. To me, I thought that was odd that they didn't give it um that
Yeah.
So
I mean, hey, I'm just gonna say this. I mean, selfishly, as a Jared Goff holder,
yeah.
make another 9 days out of it.
Make it 29. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's a it won't again and again it's a locking moment. So if you want Jared Goff, you don't just get
Right.
Jared Goff. You have to have a T Higgins, a
Yeah.
CD Lamb, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and a Jonathan Taylor to lock for it.
Right. Right. And all
So
the banner moments. Just
no.
kidding. Hey, I would like to
Um,
just kind of mention, just I mean, in doing the playbook this week, the one thing I noticed is that, we were talking about tackles, just some of these guys, like the fresh threads. It was nice to see like the Patrick Queens, the Levante Davids, like the rares, like kind of coming up in some value.
yeah,
It's like they weren't $4 anymore. They were like
right.
10, 15, 11, $12. It's like it was nice to see them actually gaining some value again. And again, it just kind of shows that when you create things around these players that people like won't just dump them. And I felt like, at the beginning of the season before playbook took place, people were just, there was no point in any of that stuff. And that's why all those moments were going for like $4.
Yeah.
You could have gotten any of them. I think I remember at the very beginning, it was like Kirk Cousins was maybe going for like $8 because he was like maybe going to do
Sam
something. And then
Sam
everybody
Darnold
else,
was going for more
Sam
because it
Darnold
was
was
his
the other one.
only yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But it wasn't even that much. Not Sam Darnold. It's like he's got
Well,
two rares out, and he's like, I mean, last I checked, I think it was like he was like around $40 or something like that. I don't know if he's still holding strong.
he is because there is one of the burns to get the Sam
Right.
Darnold legendary is to burn
Sure.
his rare moments, and he's only got those two.
Sure.
So those
But
are
again,
very sought after right now. Yeah,
right. It's just I guess it's just nice to see. So just
it
wanted to
is,
get that,
and
get my 2 cents in.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's nice to see. It's like you wish you could see it on more moments, but there are
Yeah,
definitely levers that can be pulled for some of these things. And they, it's just, it's, I think part of the problem too is it's like a lot, right now, again, the ecosystem's small. And so there are too many people in there that are just looking to make quick bucks. And so they flip everything and throw it away and discard it. And there's not enough collectors to kind of, usually you have those guys that flip and then there's like a collector base that kind of absorbs the ups and downs of the flippers.
sure.
And,
Yep.
that's not there right now. It's out of whack. So
It is,
it just
but
makes it tough.
again, I just, I think we're I think 4 seasons into this.
Yeah.
And again, it's, if they just keep working away series one, I do see a lot of these trade-ins. I see a lot of these rares, like,
Yeah.
it's slowly but surely they're working some of these rares out of the ecosystem. And I hope they continue to work some of those big names out of series one.
The one thing that it's taught me though is it's like if there's any lesson you can learn, it is stack rares of star players because when especially when they go cheap, like when a guy is like down
Yes.
and
Yeah.
out and no one wants that guy's rare or whatever. And if he's a
Right.
good player, like a Joe Burrow, like Joe Burrow last year, all of his rares were way down because he was hurt. They were like
Yep.
whatever. He's out of the playoffs right now. I don't know where his
Yep.
rares are at, but I'm guessing that they're kind of like down right now. Or Trevor Lawrence, there's a guy like Trevor
Yep.
Lawrence's rares are probably way down, and so it's like if you believe in a guy, if you think he's going to have any type of like potential comeback,
Right.
think about it. Trevor Lawrence is probably going to, if he has any type of year next year, he'll get a legendary because he didn't get one this year. He was kind of off the map. So if he comes out, balling next year, he'll get one. And guess what? You'll need to do it. You'll need Trevor Lawrence rares or something to burn for. So it's it just goes to show you
Yeah.
that it's like if you want to be savvy, it's like buy what people are dumping if you believe in the guy. I mean, even Mahomes moments have been like a little bit more down lately, and we'll
Right.
see him come up as things progress and all that.
Right,
So
right. I mean, again, that debut, Patrick
yeah,
Mahomes is, it's still, I mean, you see somebody, they're getting him for like in the twos.
is he down
That's
in the twos
crazy.
now?
I mean, I've seen that some have been purchased in the high twos.
Yeah.
I think I saw like a 295er and maybe like a 270 something.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know. I was more wondering if he had actually like kind of settled into that range.
No, he didn't settle. I think maybe there's some offers that got put in or, something to that effect.
Yeah, definitely some offers that are getting taken. He's got so many moments though, but yeah, he's at 337 right now.
Yeah, he's been at 337 for a solid like three
Low offer
weeks.
282. So I'm looking at the last few sales 300, 369, 300, 281,
Yep.
330. So yeah, he's right around that $300 range.
That I really do think at some point that is going to be one of the moments that when like the series one stuff starts to get sucked up,
Yeah,
like he's going to be one of those guys. Enough of these are going to fall into the right hands, and that's going to be that moment that like all of a sudden people are going to be like, oh, it's not there anymore, and it's
right.
going to be like, where the fuck did it go? And it's
Yeah.
going to be like it's they'll all be sitting in my hands, and that's just why I won't let him go.
Yeah, he's a moment that's definitely like a kind of one of those that's a moment you kind of have to put on
Yeah,
your your wish list at some point. So it
right,
is
right.
it's a defining
If
moment for sure.
if you don't have that moment, you're not collecting.
Well, I mean, look, there's people out there who probably don't have the budget to buy that moment, so I don't want to say that in that regard, but I would say that if you don't have aspirations to own that moment, unless you're a Raiders fan that's just like so diehard that you can or
Okay.
something,
Yeah.
um, no, but in all seriousness, like yeah, like that should be a moment that's on everybody's list, just because he is
Right.
again the face of the of the league, and he for a reason, right? Like he's a multiple Super Bowl winning, MVP winning, et cetera, et
Sure.
cetera. But here's the thing: I'd say the same thing about Lamar Jackson. The guy's going to win his third MVP this year, and
Hey, you think so? You don't think
no,
Josh Allen's going to win it?
nope.
Okay.
Only here's why, and I heard a really good point, which is the same guys that vote for the All Pro team vote for the those awards, and
Okay.
they picked Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen on the All Pro ballot. So
Hmm.
so if they did that, why wouldn't they? Again, that means they thought he did better than Josh Allen. So I'm gonna go. Again, it makes sense. I'm not
Have they
saying it's a
voted yet?
lock, but no, the voting doesn't happen until the end of the year.
Yeah. Right. So I think that a lot of it has to do with how
Well,
much
I'll
games
tell
they
you
win in the
what, Lamar
playoffs.
didn't do anything tonight to make me think that he lost any ground. So unless Josh Allen wins the Super Bowl, then again, I think I think Lamar Jackson's got a pretty good case. So,
Okay. We'll see about that.
all right. Well, I mean, since we're on awards, let's we can touch on another one, which is the Rookie
Yeah.
of the Year, because that matters, right? So, being on the leaderboards, if you're in the top five, if you're in the top 50 for the top five offensive rookie of the year vote getters, you're going to get a free
Yep.
legendary. And then if
Yep.
you're at the top, they're only for defense, only the top one. So whoever wins defensive
Right.
rookie of the year, if you're in the top 50 for him, then you will get a free legendary there. So my question to you: who is going to be our offensive rookie of the year? And just what's your hot take?
Who do I think it's going to be, or
Yeah.
who do I think it should be?
Well, both.
I mean, it's gonna be Jaden Daniels,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it should be Brian Thomas Jr.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so I know you're a Jag fan and stuff, but I will
Yeah, yeah.
go. I mean, you're right. It
I'm,
probably will be Jaden Daniels just because quarterbacks get so much, um, like again, they get all the blame, so they get all the credit. So I understand that, and I get that's why he'll probably win it. But man, I'm going to tell you right now, Mike, and I know this isn't some crazy take, but Brock Bowers for me, like I like Brian Thomas Jr. a lot, but he didn't
mhm.
set the records like Brock Bowers did. And not only did Brock Bowers set the records, which and I give Brian Thomas Jr. credit here too because they both did it on shitty teams where they were the number one option and everybody knew the ball was going to them. So
Okay.
they both saw lots of coverage. I don't know how much double coverage they both saw. I don't have like the
Okay.
snap count or whatever, but um, it's not like you know what I'm saying. The Jags and the Raiders, they didn't have guys pulling. They didn't have studs on the other side pulling away coverage for for them to do awesome. Like again,
Sure.
like
Okay.
a Xavier Worthy, let's say he's got DeAndre Hopkins on the other side pulling coverage
Yep.
away for him. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
he's going to get touchdowns. Or the dude on the Buccaneers that's caught a dozen touchdowns this season.
McMillan.
Is it now? It's not.
Jalen McMillan.
Is it McMillan? I thought it was whatever. Anyway, yeah. So like, great season, but not again not going to have that season if you look when he does well. It's when Mike Evans is pulling coverage on the other side, and it's like he's a number two.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
um,
it's subjective. I mean,
of course
like
it
I
is.
understand everybody's like take on it, and I get why you would say Brock Bowers. It's not like I mean, he had a fantastic season. I just when I look at Brian Thomas Jr., I see like almost the next Justin Jefferson possibly.
Yeah.
And when I look at Brock Bowers, I don't know how long he's like.
Oh, I think he's the next. He's the next one. He's like the next Kelsey or whatever you want to call it. Like,
Mm,
oh yeah, I
I don't know about that.
I do. I feel like if you watch him play, he is the guy. I mean, he is the guy. Yeah.
I mean, okay. So here's the things that I'll say about him. One, I don't know how he is as a blocker.
Hmm.
Okay, I know how he is as a pass catcher. But again, it's like he caught a lot of passes.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Got a
it's
lot
not
of
like he made
yards.
a.
Got touchdowns. Got
I mean, I don't know what his yards after catch was. Maybe that was awesome too. I don't know. It's just like I didn't see a lot of splash plays from him. I feel like
no.
I
He had some.
I feel I like when I see it, I see a lot of like short yardage like dumps to him. And
Hmm.
again, it's like I think he's racking up the stats
Hmm.
and he's good for fantasy football and he's good for all that, but it's I don't know. He doesn't jump off the page like I would think a rookie of the year should jump off the page.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna hurt him. I mean, I think there's people who feel that way, like you do, and I think that is gonna hurt him in the voting and such. But again, you just
They're not
look
going to
at
give it to a tight end, and they're probably not going to give it to a receiver. There's a
yeah,
quarterback out there that's taken a team to the playoffs that hasn't gone in a long time and threw up a Hail Mary, had some like splash plays. He's getting it. Jaden Daniels is getting it, whether we like it or not.
I know. I just don't think he deserves it. But that's again, like I think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback like this year, no question. Like he of all the quarterbacks, he should rank. Like again, I think we're mincing
The
guys that are
rookie of
all
the
going to
year,
finish in the top
right?
five. So
The rookie of the year is a joke. It's the number one is always going to go to a quarterback unless they fuck it up. So it's to me, it's more about who's two, three, four, and five in the voting.
yeah,
That's more like of interest to me because it's like they're going to give it to the quarterback. Fine, great, give it to that guy.
yeah.
Now let's figure out who it's going to after that. And again, Like I don't think there was another quarterback that really like. I mean, I think they're gonna judge Bo Nix on how he does in the playoffs. So if Bo Nix wins in the playoffs and he beats the Buffalo Bills, he's either getting number one or he's getting number two, and then that's set. And then you got to look at 3 through 5 if you want to play the skill position
I
game.
don't think Bo Nix will. I don't think Bo Nix will get more votes. I think someone. I don't think it'll go quarterback, quarterback. I think someone will slot in there above because again,
Dude,
Brian Thomas.
If Bo Nix goes in there and has a great game and beats Buffalo in Buffalo, dude, I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Buffalo's got
That
a
dude's
bad
get
defense. Buffalo has a bad pass defense, so I don't. I think.
no.
I think Bo Nix will get.
You're kidding me. You're crazy. You are
Why?
crazy. If he goes in
Buffalo
there,
has
I'm saying,
a bottom 15 pass defense. They're not.
yeah. This is such a like a what have you done for me lately league. I mean, if Bo Nix as a rookie goes in, and I'm saying he has to have a good game
Yeah.
and beats Buffalo in Buffalo,
Hmm.
that is like huge. Like he should not be able to do that. If he has a game like he had against who they just play, they played somebody recently and he had like a really stellar game. I don't
Well,
remember
I
who it
mean, he
was,
had a
but
great game against the Chiefs backups, so I'm sure that helped.
yeah, no, it was a game before that that like meant something. I don't remember who it was, but
Yeah.
he's had a few games. He had one pass that he made like down the middle of the field to somebody. Maybe it was against the Browns. I think it was the Browns. But he's just like, he's had some like really some splash moments. And
Yeah.
again, I think if he has some splash moments and they win in Buffalo, he is going to be the talk of everything and his stock is going
Well,
to go.
that's a big if. That's a big if.
Oh, absolutely. They'll probably get creamed. But what I'm saying is if he did, then I would secure him at the number two, possibly the number one spot. But
Yeah.
again, you want to talk skill positions are always going to be a little bit below the quarterback talk. That's just the way, that's just the nature of the game.
Yeah,
So it's just
but here's what I'd say. Like, I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. was the third best receiver in the NFL, not just rookie, third best receiver in the NFL.
oh yeah.
And Brock Bowers was the best tight end in the NFL this year. So this was like people look. I don't. I know like I know I'm making this way too early. I know I'm saying it way too early, but this was an historic
Yeah.
year for uh
A
for
lot.
rookies, and
For
so
offense, I think.
for offense, but the rookies in this class were better than we've seen in so long. And here's what I'm going to
I
say
understand.
about like the here's what I'll say about. We want to talk about what have you done for me lately? Here's what I'm going to say about Jaden Daniels. I watched that game against the Cowboys. He didn't do shit in the first half. He put up 3 points. They were going to lose that game. If Jaden Daniels stays in that game, they lose to the Cowboys. And they pulled him at
Yeah.
halftime because of whatever. Marcus Mariota goes in. They win that game. I don't want to hear someone's going to be like, well, they didn't call it. They called a safer offense because they didn't want to hurt him. No, bullshit.
I'm convinced that man had like diarrhea or something like that. Something was wrong with him.
Something
Like
was wrong
so,
with him. But I'm telling you
yeah,
right now,
so,
like
like
I'll be really curious to see how these guys all perform in the playoffs because
yeah.
it's going to be a step up. And I'm really curious to see like how a Bo Nix and how a Jaden Daniels do in the playoffs. I am,
Right. Again, if
yeah,
the Commanders go into Tampa Bay and lose by like 20 points, and then Bo Nix goes into Buffalo and wins, and then maybe plays a close game against Kansas City or whoever they play next,
yeah.
it's going to alter everything. It
I
is
mean,
because they're going to be like
I
Jaden
honestly think,
Daniels shit
I
the
think the
bed.
Commanders are actually probably going to beat the Buccaneers. I just don't think the Buccaneers are that great of a team.
I don't
I
think
think it's
either
going to
of
be
them
a
are that great.
shootout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, yeah.
So
Hey, I mean,
anyway,
it'll all work itself out. Yeah, we can
yeah,
sit here and go over it, but I think we can agree that both Brock Bowers and Brian Thomas Jr.
top
both
five.
played great, and they should both be in the top five. I think it's more of an argument of who is number five because I think we got one, two, three, four,
Yep,
and
the
we
two
just don't know
quarterback.
who
Yep,
five is. Yep, and I
and
think that's where it's like I'd probably say like a Bucky Irving or
yeah,
like maybe a Lad McConkey or somebody like that.
yeah.
I mean,
I
I
mean, I
think
think
Lad
is I
McConkey is
know as
making a
much
strong case.
as Lad McConkey is going to have a good case just because he went to the playoffs and did well, had a good catch. Bucky Irving, I mean, I think again, whatever he does in the playoffs could help with that.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy might have a chance.
Eh,
If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl or something, he could, especially if he plays like a big role in the run. I'm just saying, he plays a big role in the run. They win another Super Bowl. He could be a rookie. He could finish in the top five.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But like Hollywood Brown's back now, so it's like, how much
Hollywood
time does he
Brown. I don't see Hollywood Brown having a big role on the Chiefs. So He's there for
He
security, in
was
my
like
opinion.
he was the talk of the season at the beginning. They're like, oh, they got him. It's going to
Yeah.
be. They're
And
all talking,
since
and then he
then,
got hurt. He got
they
hurt
got
right
DeAndre
away.
Hopkins and Xavier Worthy is like shown up. So we'll see. You know what? We'll
Yeah,
see. I mean, he may
we'll
be
see.
again.
We'll see. We will see.
I'll but then again, I'll go back and say one last thing, which I know you're going to shit all over, but if quarterbacks really get that much additional whatever, I would say that then you have to throw Caleb Williams in that potential fifth position pile as well. So
No.
his stats. Look, if you look at his stats, they're almost identical to Jaden Daniels. And when you look at the Bears' season, they're like a play away, a penalty away, a hail mary away from being 11-5 or 11-6 or whatever. They could have been a much like you go back
11,
and
wait, where are you getting all these wins from? They finished like what?
the blocked field goal against Green Bay would have won the game. The missed timeout against the Lions, they could have come back and won that game. The Hail Mary against the Commanders, they could have won that game. The Seahawks
The
game, they just needed one drive, they could have won that. I mean, what I'm saying is it wasn't like they were getting blown out. I'm saying they were on the wrong side of a lot of really close losses, right? And so knowing that, and again, just you look at that, he set the record for most consecutive attempts without an interception. Again, you look at his passing numbers, he's a half of a notch below Jaden Daniels, right? I'm not saying he did better. I'm not saying Jaden Daniels should
yeah,
be, but I'm saying he is so close statistics wise to those two guys. He's got a better TD to interception ratio than both of them. He's got a few less yards. He played on a team that lost its head coach, its offensive core. I mean, the team was in fucking shit shambles for most of the year, and he still put up great numbers. He put up better numbers in his rookie year than any quarterback has in the last, couple decades for the Bears. And that was with all of that turmoil around him. So again, I'm just saying if you're gonna tell me that you're gonna put Bucky Irving, a running back who like great, who's still splitting time with Rashad White. It's not like he's, like he has some good plays and some splash plays. But if you're going to throw him in the conversation, I think Caleb deserves to be in the conversation.
okay. I
I'm
mean,
not saying
I
he'll
could,
be there, but he's in the
I could
conversation.
definitely, I could turn this into a massacre if I wanted to, but I'm not going to go there.
How
Go
are
there,
you?
dude.
How,
Okay, first of all, I mean, go back and watch what people were saying about the Bears before the season started, and listen to how they were like, they're going to make a run to the Super Bowl. This is one of the best offenses ever assembled. All he has to do is just throw it to these guys.
yeah,
They've
well,
got this
O
guy, they've
line,
got
but
that
keep
guy,
going.
they got this guy,
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah. I mean, here's the thing: nobody was talking about the offensive line when they drafted Roma Dunze. Everybody's like, what a great pickup that is. Oh, they got all these great guys. Everybody forgot about the offensive line. Then all of a sudden the offensive line didn't show up. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, why didn't they do the line? Why'd they
yeah.
get Rome?
Of course
So
they
it's
do
like,
that. Yeah,
but that it's just like it's like typical shit. The whole thing is that everybody had them pegged as being this playoff team. They said this is one of the best teams that's ever been handed to a rookie. Of
hmm,
course he should get these stats. He had
yeah,
Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. He had one of the top rookies drafted at receiver.
yeah.
He has Cole Kmet's a decent tight end. He's not
Yeah, he's got
terrible.
great weapons. And never look. I mean, yeah. Again, I hear what you're
And I
saying,
don't remember
but
who you're running. DeAndre Swift
DeAndre
is
Swift,
like
yep,
is a very serviceable running back, and
yeah.
you've got I'm sure you've got somebody behind him that I'm not thinking of,
Roshan
and
Johnson
it's
was the guy behind him, but
okay. I don't know how he is, but
he's
again, so
decent.
you're gonna take all those skill positions, and then you're telling me this defense was actually one of the better defenses. It's like, where are the cracks in the game? And then everybody points to the offensive line, and it's like, oh, it's the Lions' fault. It's just like, no, it's like the guy sat there and took a bunch of sacks that he didn't need to take.
Yeah.
I mean, that was ridiculous. He
Uh-huh.
threw his line under the bus under a lot of those, and they were mismanaged stuff going on between the coach and
Look, he's see it. Yeah,
the
you can
quarterback.
be a hater, but he's a rookie. I'm telling you right now, though, if you
No,
just
I'm not a
look,
hater. I'm not a
no, I'm
hater. I'm
saying
just
that's
saying
fine.
like
It's fine to
he's a
like.
rookie. He made a made a lot.
Of
I'm
course
just
he
saying
did.
that's not rookie of the year material
But then how can you say Jaden Daniels is?
because
Because he
Jaden
won
Daniels
games.
didn't.
Because he won games.
Yes,
That's yeah, and
because
that's
yeah,
so again.
it's the
That to
same
me, that's
reason
a team
they
function, not a
fired
player
Doug Peterson
function.
from the
So
Jags. It's like Doug Peterson's a great coach, but he didn't produce enough wins, so they fired him. Do I
yeah,
agree with that? I think it was a bad idea, but they still fired him because it's a wins and losses
yeah.
league. which
Well,
sucks.
again, I get it. I'm a homer, so of course I'm going to have an inflated opinion of
Yeah,
Williams, and you're not, and that's fine. But
yeah.
again, I still think he's part of the conversation. I don't think that putting him as like the fifth best rookie this year is. I don't think that's like crazy talk. I
No,
think
it's
it
not
is.
crazy. No, it's
Yeah.
not. But I think that there's people who are more deserving, and I think
And I'm
that he
just
will
saying,
not
I
finish.
don't see anybody who. I mean, again, Bucky Irving, maybe he had a
Lad
he came on
McConkey,
strong.
Lad McConkey I mean, if you told me Lad McConkey was number 5 and Caleb Williams was not, I think that would be the right call.
I don't think Lad McConkey's a bad choice either. Yeah, again, I
Yeah,
think that him and Bucky both had stronger second halves of the season where they came on strong, and so
sure.
it could easily
I
be
mean, I
either
think
of those
Malik
guys.
Neighbors would be another one you could choose. I mean, even Marvin Harrison Jr. had some serious flashes there. Now, again, he's probably not worthy of it because he just didn't have the production. But I mean, he's a good player. It's like, I mean, some of these receivers are really just dependent on
Yeah,
on their
I mean Malik
quarterbacks. And
Neighbors deserves it over Lad McConkey. I would, yeah, for sure. He had more everything than Lad McConkey, and he did it in
yeah,
fewer games. So I
yeah,
like. I mean, I like Lad McConkey, but Malik Neighbors.
he should be your number 5. I
Yeah,
mean, Bucky Irving, Malik Neighbors, whatever. Anyway, let's
yeah.
move on from rookies.
All right. All right, so we talked about the drops that are coming up. We talked about the playbook. We talked about the banner year. The last thing that we were going to talk about is that there's some, there was the drop that we talked a little bit, which was the metal gold, which are the rares, and the hollow icons, which are the legendaries. There's a bunch of trade-ins with some burns attached to those right now, which is nice to see. You can burn. I think right now they're doing the jersey serial burns for the legendaries, where it's you're burning legendaries from last year's dynamic moments. So some of those are going to be going down even further. And
Yep.
then for the rares, it's just burning commons and debuts and things like that. And then I think they're going to do a burn after that where you can. I think they're doing 4 of each of the legendary, and the way you get it is by burning their rare moments. So again, it's
Okay.
great to see them getting rid of more supply like you asked for,
Yep.
like we've asked for, and like you love the most, and
I do love
that'll
it the
be going
most.
on. So
I even saw Vita Vey getting possibly burnt.
yeah, we're all gonna miss that. R.I.P. Vita. So
30 at 30. Peace out.
exactly. So yeah, that was it. I think that was kind of what we had to go over, and I think you wanted to give like a special shout out or something, or
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Deputy Dong 52.
yeah,
He's given us a lot of love and support. So I just want to give a shout out because
yeah,
I thought that was the right thing to do. I mean, we've been giving shout outs the whole time. So
yeah, absolutely.
Deputy Dong.
All
Yeah.
right, there we go. Well, we'll
Yeah.
catch you on the next one, and we'll talk some more playoff football and
Sure.
more moments and things like that. And there'll be some playoff drops, I'm sure, coming up. So that'll be interesting to see how they handle that this year.
Right on.
All right, we're out of here.
All right. Peace.